Live from TKDS Sports Studios. Sports news, sports events, and more. This is TKDS Live. And now, to the TKDS Studios and your host, Jackson and Matt for the Sports Now Update Show.
Rise and shine, it is football time. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Jackson Lightcap alongside Matthew Pennington. Week 9 is in the books. Matt, a busy couple of hours coming our way. Excited to spend them with you.
Yeah, but it's another one of those mornings where you just had to bring up the fact that, last time we had all three of us here, you just had to bring up the fact that, it's a surprise that all three of us are good to go. Unfortunately, John can't join us. He woke up not feeling too good this morning, so hope he gets better. Obviously, would love to have him on the show, but we gotta feel good to be able to do the show in the morning. You and I feel good to go this morning, John. You're powering through it. I know you're feeling.
I think there's something going around. I think it's the weather change. When we live in Ohio, for those of you who are watching across the globe, when you live in Ohio, we have 30-degree mornings and 70-degree afternoons. That's what it's been like the last couple of days. That's what it's going to continue to be like. So I think colds are up. There's something going around. John, although he's out in Indiana right now, same region, he's not feeling too good. Woke up, he said his head was killing him. Wanted to do the show, felt really bad that he couldn't do the show because, we do have a lot to talk about. It's going to be a great show, but he's out sick. I went to bed last night. Matt, you and I called a game, and I remember on that car ride home last night, I wasn't feeling that great either. I woke up this morning just barely able to go. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to power through it. I probably won't feel good at the end of the show, but you know what? It's high school football. I'm going to power through it. Matt, you were sick last week too, so there's certainly something going around, but we're going to try to power through it, and unfortunately John couldn't join us today, but nonetheless, the show must go on. 2 hours, a lot to talk about, scores, playoff picture, conference races, all before we head into Week 10 of the regular season.
Yeah, like you said, there's definitely a lot to talk about when it comes to high school football around at least the southwest area of Ohio. It's a game that's going on today, but Moeller plays St. Ed's today. That's two of the top teams in the entire state of Ohio facing off against each other today. So that's not even talking about all this stuff when it comes to the conferences in southwest Ohio. GWAC's still a lot that can happen when it comes to that conference. Things starting to iron themselves out, and we're starting to figure out who are the true teams that can win that conference at this point of the season. But there's still plenty to talk about when it comes to Southwest Ohio. And like I said, you've got Northeast versus Southwest, two of the powerhouses of both sides of the state facing off against each other today, with Moeller and St. Ed's facing off against each other. And that's just one of the few things that's going on when it comes to Week 9 that we have to talk about when it comes to the state of Ohio. So, yeah, we can't be off topic. We got to get things rolling when it comes to today, Jackson.
Absolutely. So with that being said, of course, here's kind of our show outline. First hour, we're going to go over nothing but scores, conference updates. We're going to try to spend the entire first hour on the show doing that because we can't go into hour number 2 talking scores and updates or anything along those lines. 9 to 9:30, we're going to be going across the divisions of Joe Idle's website to talk about the updated playoff picture heading into the Saturday games for week number 9. 9:30, Mcnicholas' coaches will join us at 9:30, and at 9:45, Matt, we will make our game pick. So a busy show coming up. Looking forward to it. Full 2 hours coming your way. And Matt, let's get into it with our first and foremost on our only Thursday night game. Dunbar beating Belmont 42-34. Now, Matt, I know that there's some other DPS scores that we're going to talk about, and we're going to get into those here in just a couple of minutes. But Dunbar over Belmont 42-34. That now puts Meadowdale alone in the driver's seat. First place, undefeated in the DPS conference. Dunbar and Belmont sit one game back with one conference loss. Belmont plays Meadowdale this upcoming week in week number 10. If Belmont beats Meadowdale and Dunbar takes care of business, we will see a three-way tie in the DPS between Meadowdale, Belmont, and Dunbar. But if Meadowdale were to beat Belmont and the Bison, Meadowdale will be crowned your outright DPS conference champions heading into the final week of the season.
And yeah, that was a huge game on Thursday night for the Bison of Belmont to end up potentially giving themselves a chance of making their Week 10 game against Meadowdale be a game that determines the conference outright. But now, like you mentioned, Meadowdale faces off against Belmont in Week 10 of the regular season. That game is going to determine whether or not we're going to see Meadowdale be the sole champions of the DPS, or if we're going to see a potential three-way split between Dunbar, Belmont, and Meadowdale for the top spot, because Dunbar at Welcome Stadium next Thursday faces off against Ponens. That should be a game that the Wolverines handle pretty convincingly when it comes to what we've seen from both of those teams so far this season. So Meadowdale, Belmont next week. That game is supposed to be played on Wednesday. So a little bit of a weird week when it comes to the DPS. But that game, Belmont, Meadowdale, going to determine if there's going to be a sole champion of the DPS or if we're going to probably see a three-way tie for the top spot.
Some other DPS scores last night. Ponens beat Thurgood Marshall to get their first win of the season, 14-0. Trotwood Madison over Meadowdale, 39-6. Remember, though, that's an out-of-conference matchup, so Meadowdale still very alive in that DPS conference. Matt, let's swing back to the top of our list to the Western Ohio Athletic Conference. Tri-Village beat Bradford 56-7. Arcanum shuts out Dixie 32-0. Twin Valley South just able to edge National Trail 40-22 in a shootout. Tri-County North over Mississinawa Valley 39-28. And the matchup in the WOAC that we've all been waiting for, Ansonia Preble Shawnee, what could be a conference championship, will be played later today.
Yeah, it's the two teams that are undefeated in conference up until this point, both 7-0 in conference. Preble Shawnee, the undefeated team of the two. Ansonia does have one loss on the season, but usually we see the Thursday night WOAC game, but now that's going to be played on a Saturday night. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, you've got the two teams that are undefeated in conference play up until this point. I mean, you take a look at Preble Shawnee, they've got Dixie for Week 10, and then you take a look at Ansonia, they've got Mississinawa Valley for Week 10. Both of those teams towards the bottom half of the conference, so as long as everything plays out the way it should, this game later on today will determine the WOAC title, because you've got Tri-Village, who is 5-2 in conference. Their losses are against Ansonia and Preble Shawnee. Tri-Village, there's no way they can split the title when it comes to the conference. It comes down to the game today between Preble Shawnee and Ansonia for the WOAC.
Hey, Matt, let's take a little bit of that. That was a game pick that we were able to make on the show last week. It's a Saturday night game. Preble Shawnee, they know what this game brings to the table. Ansonia, they know what this game brings to the table. Remember, Ansonia was one of the final 8 teams across the entire state of Ohio for Division 7 before getting bounced last year to Marion Local in the regional final. Matt, you and I were there to call that game. And Ansonia is looking to get back to that spot. But first off and foremost, winning the WOAC. When you are able to win a conference that has Ansonia, Preble Shawnee, Arcanum, you have Tri-Village in that mix. The WOAC is a very good football conference. These players know what's on the line tonight. Ansonia, they've been here before. Preble Shawnee trying to come in and take the crown of the Western Ohio Athletic Conference tonight. It should be certainly a fun one to watch. And I'm excited to see how the outcome of that game plays out.
Yeah, especially not just that, but especially when it comes to us and our implications when it comes to game picks. You and I looking to go 6-0 again this week if Preble Shawnee is to come out on top. Obviously, you want Ansonia to put up a good game and put up a good fight, because Preble Shawnee has looked incredible so far this season when it comes to the overall record. I mean, you take a look at their points for and points against. This is up to Week 8 because they haven't had their Week 9 game. 375 total points scored through 8 weeks of the season. That is an insane stat line to put up offensively. And then to have allowed 58 total points to go with that, Preble Shawnee has looked incredible. And then you take a look at Ansonia. They're less than 50 points behind. They have allowed 122 points so far this season through their 8 games, but they have 328 on offense so far this season. So both Preble Shawnee and Ansonia have looked incredible so far this season. Obviously, you look at that 8-0 for Preble Shawnee as opposed to the 7-1 for Ansonia, and both teams 7-0 in conference. Like we said, this game very well should determine who is going to be atop of the WOAC at the end of the regular season, but it should be a fun game today.
And in the Three Rivers Conference, Lehman Catholic beat Troy Christian 65-19. Miami East over Bethel 43-12. Northridge beats Milton Union 40-21, and Riverside over Covington 26-14. Matt, now it's all shaping up, and I've said this before, and this is going to be the common theme at least for the first hour of the show. Conference championships going to be played in week number 10, or a lot of implications in week number 10. Matt, I've said it on this show. I've said it a couple weeks when you were with us. I said it last week when it was John with us. The schedule makers of this season all need a pay raise. From every single conference, whoever made the schedule deserves a pay raise. I'm advocating for them to get a raise because we have been blessed with an entertaining football season and all these conference championships basically coming down to week 9 or 10. Was that coincidental? Did they mean to do that? Was it on purpose? I don't know, but it's certainly a hard thing to predict. So, nonetheless, the schedule makers, I do believe, need a pay raise for the amount of games that they've been able to predict correctly becoming conference championships in Week 9 or in Week 10. In the Three Rivers Conference, it's no different. TRC Conference Championship next Friday night as Lehman Catholic will take on Northridge.
And yeah, that's a game that it's guaranteed to be this game decides the conference. You've got the website doesn't have Lehman Catholic's game from last night in, but they are 6-0 in conference. And then you've got Northridge 6-0 in conference. They play each other at Northridge for game number 10 of the season for both of these teams. Three Rivers Athletic Conference comes down to next week between Northridge and Lehman Catholic. So you mentioned they should get a pay. I mean, I don't disagree with that whatsoever. We've got two conferences that we've talked about. Obviously, this one in the WOAC is a Week 9 game, but it's still a late-season conference championship deciding matchup. I mean, we saw the same thing pretty much last night in the game that you and I covered in the Central Buckeye Conference when it comes down to the divisions inside of the Central Buckeye Conference. So Northridge, Lehman Catholic, both 6-0 in conference. Kind of jumping a little bit of ahead because that is one of our game picks that you have on our weeks or on our slate for the game pick segment that we got later on in the show. But it's two 6-0 teams in conference facing off against each other for a TRC title. Why? How can we not put that as a game pick for next week?
And speaking of the Central Buckeye Conference, Bell Fountain beat Jonathan Alder 49-7. Graham beat North Union 38-0. London beat Kenton Ridge 42-7. Indian Lake over Northwestern 41-19. Benjamin Logan beats Shawnee 17-9. And Urbana beats Tecumseh 41-8. Matt, in that Mad River division, we saw Indian Lake clinch at least a share of the Mad River title. It's all going to depend on what Graham is able to do. If Graham's able to win in Week 10 and Indian Lake loses, we will have a split for that Mad River title. But Indian Lake controlling their own destiny with a big win and a grinding win last night against Northwestern. It was 41-19. That score does not necessarily show how close of a game it was. It was 20-19, basically leading up into the final minutes of the third quarter. It was the fourth quarter where Indian Lake was just able to explode for 21 unanswered. Matt, you and I were there on the call in the other division. London still controlling their own destiny, still undefeated in conference play.
Yeah, the other big implication for the game that we saw last night was the fact that I haven't taken a look at Joe Idle's website yet. We're obviously going to do a deep dive in that later on in the show, but the implications that that game has for the playoffs for both teams when it comes down to Northwestern and Indian Lake. Northwestern was the 19th seed in their region going into last night. It's possible with how they played. Obviously, you take a look at the final score. It doesn't show exactly how well of a game Northwestern played. Obviously, you got to look at that 21 points that Indian Lake was able to put up on them late in that game. Part of that was because of the desperation that Northwestern had late in the game, going for it on fourth down in their own territories, not the ideal situation when it comes to trying to hold your opponent to putting up a ton of points in that game and going on a late run like we saw Indian Lake do. But it's going to be interesting to see once we dive into the playoff points. Did Northwestern gain anything point-wise because of that game last night? They played a Division V team who does have a better overall record than they do, but it's going to be a question of Did that get Northwestern any points whatsoever? Indian Lake definitely benefited from it. That definitely helps their case for being a home playoff team for round one because they had already clinched going into last night. They were just fighting for a first-round home game come playoff time. So a lot to talk about, especially when it comes to the Central Buckeye Conference. And then, like you mentioned, Graham, I think they've got Ben Logan in Week 10, and then you've got Indian Lake. They face off against North Union in Week 10. Indian Lake gets a win. They win their division. They are the lone team on top of their division. Their division. And then you've got Graham hoping that North Union can play spoiler next week for Indian Lake.
And that'll take us to our first commercial break. When we return, we'll take a look at some of the other scores in the MAC, the OHC, the SWBL, and a lot more. That's all coming up next. You're watching the Friday Night Recap Show powered by TKDS Sports.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
And now, to the TKDS studios and your host, Jackson and Matt, for the Sports Now Update Show.
It's Saturday morning. It's our Friday night recap show. Jackson Lightcap alongside Matthew Pennington, the entire TKDS Sports Network crew. Matt, let's get into the Midwest Athletic Conference. The MAC, Marion local blanks Minster 21-0. I'd have to say that could be the closest game Marion local's played all season long.
It is for sure
It's
the
probably
closest
their
game.
their least scoring.
But the other thing you got to think about is Minster this
Minster's a
year
really
is
good team.
an incredibly good team. So Marion local winning 21-0, you may look at it as, man, what's going on with Marion local? They didn't put up 45 points.
I didn't mean it as that's Marion local just putting up 21. No, you got to my point, Matt. Minster, a very good football team, faring well against Marion local.
I look at that as not a, man, what's wrong with Marion local? That just yes, it's a 21-0 loss, but that cements Minster as a very, very good team this season. Like I said, you may look at it as but they got blanked 21-0. What are you guys talking about? Marion local has been incredibly good so far this season. I don't have their schedule pulled up, but if I was a betting man, I'd say they probably have put up 30 to 40 points every single game outside of their Minster win last night. And that just cements Minster as an incredibly good team inside of the MAC this season. A team that usually is a top team in the MAC over the past couple seasons hasn't been towards the top of the conference like we usually see Minster be. Last night cemented them as, and I think they were going into last night, the number 2 team in the region in Division 7 behind Marion local for Region 28. So not too surprising seeing Marion local win 21-0. And once again, I mentioned to you when we had, I think it was Minster, who did we have game pick-wise for Minster earlier in the season? I think it was Minster New Bremen. It was a close game, but I ended up telling you before that game, I was like, Minster is a legit team this season. They are scary good this year. And yes, they lost 21-0 to Marion local, but we've already mentioned multiple times that we should just give Marion local a Division 7 state title it was a few weeks ago that we said that. Now them beating Minster the way they did, it furthermore cements the argument that I said that maybe we should give Marion local the title.
And they're going to have another tough task next week as Coldwater. That's who they will play for the MAC Conference Championship. Other scores in the MAC Conference: Coldwater beats Versailles 52-14. Andover Fort Recovery 49-6. St. Henry tops New Bremen 21-14. St. John's with a 19-point victory over Parkway. Again, Marion local Coldwater, the conference title game coming up a week from yesterday. In the Ohio Heritage Conference, Fairbanks beats West Jefferson 69-35. Greenview over Springfield Catholic Central 47-6. Cedarville just able to edge Greenon 8-7. More of a baseball score than anything else. Madison Plains shuts out Southeastern 31-0. Mechanicsburg over Northeastern 35-18. West Liberty Salem beats Triad 49-8. Matt, it's all coming down to that upper division. Fairbanks and West Liberty Salem, 2 undefeated teams, going to be battling it out for a division championship next week.
And yeah, the one team that I've got to give a lot of credit to when it comes down to the season that they've put together so far this year. I mean, you've got to look at Fairbanks this season, and you got to feel good for what they've been able to do so far this year. Last time they were a 500 team was back in 2021. They've been the bottom of the North Division over the past few seasons. Now they're 7-2 with a chance of winning the North Division if they're able to take down West Liberty Salem in Week 10. So this Fairbanks team goes from struggling over the past couple seasons, decent records. Obviously, they'd want better with a team that in years prior, 2021, they were 500. COVID year, they were 4-2 overall. Then prior to that, the 2019 season, they were 6-4. Then the year prior, they were one of the top teams in the North Division, but it's been down years for Fairbanks over the past couple seasons. Now, this year, 7-2 overall, a chance of winning the North Division. You got to like the turnaround that Fairbanks has shown over the past couple, from what we've seen them have over the past couple seasons.
And, of course, in the OHC, that North Division, West Liberty Salem, Fairbanks, that's going to, the winner of next week's game will decide the North Division. In the South Division, Greenview will play Cedarville. Greenview undefeated 4-0 in that conference or in that South Division. Cedarville 2-2. Sandwiched in between them, Madison Plains. Madison Plains with a win next week and an upset victory. Cedarville over Greenview. We could see co-division champions in that South Division between Greenview and Madison Plains. So Greenview has clinched a share, but has yet to clinch it outright. So still a lot to unfold in that South Division as well. In the Southwestern Buckeye League, Valley View beat Brookville in a good one, 27-21. Carlisle just able to edge Middletown Madison 38-35. Edgewood blanks Franklin 24-0. Bellbrook shuts out Oakwood 31-0. Ross will beat Monroe 24-13. Waynesville with a big win over Eaton 42-15. Matt, in the Southwestern Buckeye League.
Surprise.
Again, here's your common theme. When you look at the Buckeye division, Valley View, Waynesville, the two undefeated teams in conference in that division. Guess when they play, Matt? They play next week at Valley View for a conference championship. Waynesville, Valley View, that's going to be a fun one. And, of course, it's one of our game picks for later on in the show as well.
And yeah, it's not just that. Obviously, you've got undefeated conference play between Valley View and Waynesville for next week, and both of those teams 7-2 overall as well. So it's matching records when it comes to the teams. And then you take a look at the, at least in conference, the overall point totals favor Waynesville quite considerably, or quite favorably when it comes down to the points for and points against, but fairly similar conference scores when it comes to points for and points against between these two teams. And then you got to look at the Southwestern Division as well. Bellbrook right now 3-0 in conference, but they too play Ross, who is 2-1 in conference so far this season. So there's a chance that we could see, if Ross pulls the upset against Bellbrook in Week 10, we could see co-division champions inside of the Southwestern Division as well.
You brought me right in. Oh, that was a
major
bad voice crack.
That's
Again,
one. That's
I'm not
one we
feeling
gotta.
the greatest. Cut me some slack.
That's one you hope we don't. You hope I don't mention later on in the show.
You brought me right to my next point, though. Moving on, we can forget about that. Moving on, Bellbrook and Ross play each other next week, and in the Southwestern Division, we haven't talked about it a whole lot because in the Buckeye Division, you have Eaton that's now 3-2. You have Bellbrook that's been right in the mix. They're 3-3 right now. So you've had Bellbrook and Eaton all in that mix, and then of course Waynesville and Valley View, the two top teams in that Buckeye Division. They're going to play in Week 10. So we've been giving a lot of focus on the Buckeye Division, but you look at that Southwestern Division, Bellbrook is the only undefeated team remaining. They have clinched a share of that Southwestern Division title, but they play Ross next week. Ross, a team that is under 500. They're 4-5 on the season. They are 2-1 in conference play, though. If Ross is able to pull the upset against Bellbrook, a team who's on an 8-game winning streak, 8-1 on the season thus far, their only loss coming in Week 1 to Tippecanoe and Tip City. We'll talk about them in the next segment. A very good team as well. Bellbrook is, if they are upset by Ross, we could see co-division champions for that Southwestern Conference and Southwestern Division as well. So still a lot to unpack in the Southwestern Buckeye League, but nonetheless, all of that will be sorted out and determined next week in week number 10. Matt, let's take another break. When we return, Miami Valley League, the Greater Western Ohio Conference, the GWOC, GCL Co-Ed, GCL South, and we might try to get into some Cincinnati schools as well. That's all coming up next. The Friday Night Recap Show powered by TKDS Sports.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
And now, to the TKDS studios and your host, Jackson and Matt, for the Sports Now Update Show.
Jackson Lightcap alongside Matthew Pennington. Let's get into the Miami Valley League. In the Miami Valley League, Butler beat West Carrollton 37-14. Sydney over Piqua 20-13. Tippecanoe shuts out Stebbins 51-0. Troy over Fairborn 42-14. Xenia beats Greenville 48-6. In that game, senior quarterback Gavin McManus set a new OHSAA record, 40 consecutive completions that were carried over from the last previous games into last night in that game against Greenville. So a new OHSAA record for Gavin McManus, the senior quarterback for Xenia, with 40 straight and consecutive completed passes. Congratulations, Gavin McManus. And Matt, we talked to head coach Maurice Harden a couple weeks ago on the show, and we talked to him about the senior leadership that Gavin McManus exemplifies. And he even went out and said on the show, he's the first one in the facility. He's the last one out. He comes in on Sundays when everybody else is off. He'll come in and watch film and try to get better. He is what you want as a team leader. He is what you want as a senior quarterback. And certainly hard work paying off, setting a new OHSAA record. Congratulations to Gavin McManus. And more storylines in the Miami Valley League. When you look at the Miami Valley League, Tippecanoe, it seems they have already won the Miami division. That Xenia has already won the Valley Division. The two undefeated teams in the Miami Valley League remaining, Tip City, Xenia, they play next week in week number 10 at Xenia.
And yeah, it's not just that both teams are undefeated in conference. Both teams overall in the season are undefeated. So we're going to see two 9-0 teams face off against each other, and we're only going to have one undefeated team in the Miami Valley League at the end of the regular season. It's going to be Xenia, or it's going to be Tippecanoe. It's going to be one of those two. But one thing you mentioned, McManus, and how good of a season in the records he's been breaking and everything. 21-26, 285 yards, and 6 touchdowns last night. That is an incredible stat line to have, especially when your team as a whole in the game only had 373 total yards of offense, and you were able to produce 285 of it through the passing game. Incredible night for Gavin McManus last night. breaking a record for most consecutive completed passes, going 21 of 26 for 285 yards and 6 touchdowns in the game last night against Greenville. It's no surprise Xenia has been able to put up the numbers they've been able to put up so far this season and win by 42 points last night and have an opportunity to be the sole team that's undefeated inside of the Miami Valley League this season, and to potentially, if they are able to do it, knock off Tippecanoe, who's also undefeated in conference. It's no surprise with what we've seen McManus do so far this season that Xenia is at the spot that they're at, but the same can be said for Tippecanoe and how good the Red Devils have played so far this season. They have also had an incredible season up until this point for themselves as well.
And Matt, when you take a look at the Miami Valley League and Tippecanoe, I want to focus on them for just a couple of minutes. Remember, a couple years ago, they go all the way to the state Final Four. Unfortunately, they fall in the state semifinals, could not finish the trip to Canton. But last year, made it all the way to the regional semifinal where Salina was the team who knocked them out. Tippecanoe lost a lot of players. Their ability to backfill and their ability that Coach Bergbacher is able to have, the culture at Tippecanoe, where you lose a great senior class 2 years ago, you lose a great senior class last season. I mean, Matt, if I had to guess, when you take a look at their starting lineup from 2 years ago compared to this year, they lost over 50% of their starters, and arguably they probably lost about 75 to 80% of their starters. I'd have to go back. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but here they are still undefeated. And I think that just speaks highly on the culture that Tip City has. And you can even say the same for Xenia. Gavin McManus has been the 4-year starter. He's seen a lot of the turnaround for the Xenia Buccaneers. He's been a part of that turnaround. So it's going to be a fun one between Xenia and Tippecanoe next week. In the GWOC, Miamisburg gets their first conference win, 30-27 over Northmont. Centerville beats Springboro 28-10. Fairmont beats Springfield 17-13. Wayne over Beaver Creek 44-6. That Fairmont-Springfield game, probably the matchup of the entire night. Fairmont was down with 15 seconds. It was a 13-10. Fairmont with a touchdown with 15 seconds to go. They fumbled on the goal line, but the running back, I believe it was Stevie Doty, was able to cross the plane into the end zone for it to be called a touchdown. At first, Springfield thought that they came up with the stop and they won the football game, man. But after the officials convened, you had a couple of them saying, nope, he crossed the plane. And Fairmont, it was ruled that they ended up crossing the plane. Fairmont now in the driver's seat for a GWOC title, and it's all going to come down to next week. Fairmont 5-1 in conference, 7-2 overall. They play Beaver Creek next week. Should be an easier win for the Birds, but of course, Beaver Creek, a scrappy team. We've seen them play tight against some teams so far this season. I mean, they were playing tight with Wayne through the first half or so. Before the second half, Wayne just absolutely demolished. And Centerville 5-1 in conference play, 6-3 overall. Centerville tied with Fairmont. Fairmont's got Beaver Creek. Centerville's got the tougher task of Wayne coming to town next week at Centerville Stadium. If both Fairmont and Centerville win, we will see co-GWOC champions. First time Fairmont's been there for quite some time. Same for Centerville. It's been a while since Centerville's been at the top. If Beaver Creek upsets Fairmont and Centerville beats Wayne, we will see Centerville as your outright GWOC champions. But if Fairmont beats Beaver Creek and Centerville loses to Wayne, we will see Fairmont as your outright GWOC champion. So a lot to unfold in the Greater Western Ohio Conference. But Fairmont, Centerville, both in the driver's seat. They control their own destiny. And I'd say Fairmont a little bit more because that Wayne team, they're on a 4-game winning streak. It's not going to be an easy game next week for Centerville at home at Centerville Stadium.
Yeah, and as long as Tyrell Lewis is good to go for the Wayne Warriors, that team is a completely different monster that you have to deal with and you have to scheme for and you have to plan for. With Tyrell Lewis in at quarterback, Wayne has been incredible so far this season. I don't think they've lost. I think they're 5-0 with him starting the game for the Wayne Warriors. And then you take a look at games without him. They haven't won a game without him at quarterback. So as long as Tyrell Lewis is good to go, Centerville better be ready for whatever Wayne's going to throw at him because it's going to be a lot offensively. And then defensively for Wayne, the numbers, you're not going to like the numbers that Wayne has put up so far this season when it comes to the defense, but you and I have seen it firsthand. Wayne's defense is so much different with Tyrell Lewis out at quarterback for the Wayne Warriors. He ends up feeding into the ability of the defense because with Tyrell Lewis out on the field, Wayne's able to sustain drives. They're able to move the football down the field. They're able to give their defense some rest and give their defense a break. With Tyrell Lewis not on the field, the defense is gassed. The defense is able to, or ends up allowing a lot more yards and a lot more explosive plays. So with Tyrell Lewis out on the field, it's night and day, not just for the offense, but for the team as a whole. And then you've got Fairmont barely escaping Springfield and getting a win last night because they had a chip shot field goal to go up 13. It would have been a 13. What would have been
13-7.
13-7 score. They had a chip shot field goal to go ahead, 13-7. Misses it. Springfield marches all the way down the field, scores a touchdown. They end up missing their extra point to make it a 13-10 ball game. And then 15 seconds left to go, Logan Doty punches it in for a touchdown for the Fairmont Firebirds. Incredible game last night. When it comes down to the conference as a whole, Miamisburg-Northmont, that was an insane game between the two. It was back and forth through and through. Last score I had seen before the final because we had our own obligations at Northwestern for a game that we had to focus on there. But Northmont was up 19-14 at one point in that game, and they were in the driver's seat when it came down to how that game was. I think it was at the half when it was 19-14. It was roughly around that scoreline. But Fairmont-Springfield, especially when it came down to the implications of the conference, that was the game that everybody had circled because Centerville-Springboro, obviously that had a lot when it came down to the overall conference records of teams. But Fairmont-Springfield did not disappoint for how close of a game it was.
I believe I said Stevie Doty. I meant Logan Doty. Stevie, the older brother of Logan, was a former member of the secondary for the Firebirds just a couple of years ago, so I beg your pardon for that. I meant Logan Doty. In the GCO co-ed, Alter plays Fenwick, and Alter beat Fenwick 21-0. Mcnicholas shuts out Carroll 59-0. CJ and Baden will be played later today. If Baden takes care of business and wins that game, the GCO co-ed will be decided by Mcnicholas and Baden next week. In the GCL South, Elder beats Bishop Chatard 14-0. St. Xavier over St. Ignatius 31-19. And LaSalle beats Harvest Prep 28-14. Matt, let's take a break. When we return, we'll close out scores with all the Cincinnati conferences. That's all coming up next. Your Friday night recap show on Sports Now.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
And now, to the TKDS studios and your host, Jackson and Matt, for the Sports Now Update Show.
Final 10 minutes here in the hour number one of this 2-hour show. Jackson Lightcap, Matthew Pennington, we welcome you back to the TKDS Sports Network. Let's run through some scores. And we're going to talk about some of the Cincinnati conferences. Matt, in some of the Cincinnati conferences, there are not so many conference championships that are going to be played in week number 10.
Most of those were somewhat determined last night.
A lot of them were played in week 9. In the Greater Miami Conference, Hamilton blanks Coleraine 38-0. Lakota West beats Lakota East 42-24 in the Battle of Lakotas. Princeton able to edge Middletown 13-7. Mason over Sycamore 29-7. Oak Hills over Fairfield 21-18. Lakota West, Princeton tied atop the GMC Conference. They do not play each other in week 10. In fact, it looks like, I believe, let me pull this up, Matt. Matt, do you have the GMC pulled up?
I do not have the GMC pulled up. I can pull it up, though.
I got it right now. Here, I beg your pardon for that, folks. In week number 10, Princeton will be taking on Coleraine, and Lakota West will be taking on Mason. And Matt, Mason, this is a team that struggled at the very beginning of the year. They started off the season 1-4. Since then, they're on a 4-game winning streak. That's not a cakewalk for Lakota West. So if Mason's able to beat Lakota West, Princeton beats Coleraine, or vice versa. Princeton loses to Coleraine, Lakota West beats Mason. Well, at the end of the day, Matt, we'll be having our lone outright GMC conference champions. But doesn't look like it's going to be that way. Doesn't look like it's going to be that way. We could very well have a tie for the top of the GMC Conference. In the Eastern Cincinnati Conference, Anderson over Winton Woods 31-17. Kings beats Turpin 27-7. West Clermont over Loveland 21-17. Lebanon beats Walnut Hills 41-6. Milford beats Little Miami 42-7. The biggest game in the ECC left to play in the season, basically your conference championship, was played last night as Anderson beat Winton Woods 31-17. Matt, into the Miami Valley Conference, Cincinnati Country Day shuts out Laughlin 47-0. Summit Country Day beats Norwood 43-6. Roger Bacon over Purcell Marion 29-8. Miami Valley Christian over Clark Montessori 15-12. St. Bernard Elmwood plays destroying New Miami 77-0. And in the Miami Valley Conference, the Scarlet Division pretty much all but wrapped up. CHCA, the only team undefeated in that division, will play Summit Country Day, a 2-6 squad, coming up next week with them in the driver's seat. In that gray division, we will have a division championship played next Friday night. St. Bernard will play Cincinnati Country Day. 2 one-loss teams, both teams undefeated in conference.
Yeah, once again, no surprise that obviously it's not the case inside of the ECC. We saw it last night between Winton Woods and Anderson as the teams to kind of determine who is going to be the top team in the conference. And then the GMC, it's been pretty much up and down when it comes to who's expected to be the conference champion at the end of the regular season, because Princeton looked like they were heavy favorites to do it, and then Hamilton decided to do a Hamilton thing and absolutely destroy Princeton in the game that those two played against each other to set up the co-champion scenario that we've got inside of the GMC. But yeah, once again, not too surprising that we've got some of the top teams inside of their conferences, or in their divisions, I should say, facing off against each other to determine who's going to be on top of their division inside of the MVC.
In the CHL, Deer Park beat Marymount 18-13. Wyoming over Indian Hill 23-13. That game was basically for the conference. Wyoming now in the driver's seat, still the only undefeated team now in the CHL. Madera beat Finneytown 12-10, and Taylor over Reading 43-14. In the Southwest Ohio Conference, Mount Healthy beat Talawanda 62-42. Talk about a shootout. That game certainly a shootout. No defense in that game. Bishop Watterson over Harrison 51-14, and Columbus DeSales beats Northwest 38-6. SBAAC, Claremont Northeastern beats East Clinton 24-6. Williamsburg over Bethel Tate 44-12. Wilmington blows out New Richmond 49-14. Western Brown with a dominating win over Goshen 42-7. Blanchester beats Fayetteville Perry 58-12. Clinton Massey with a huge win over Batavia 41-8. Matt, in the South Buckeye Athletic and Academic Conference, the SBAAC, Batavia, they were undefeated heading into last night in their game against Clinton Massey. Clinton Massey destroying them. Clinton Massey now in the driver's seat for the American Division. Williamsburg in the driver's seat, the only undefeated team remaining, with Claremont Northeastern on their schedule in the National Division.
And yeah, Claremont Northeastern with a big win, but I mean, you mentioned the tough opponent that they've got next week. So, I mean, when it comes to the SBAAC, there wasn't really much surprise when it came to the conference last night. I mean, it was just blowout after blowout. The closest game was the Claremont Northeastern game, 24-6 against East Clinton. But not too surprising when it comes down to the final scores of the majority of the games in the SBAAC last night. I mean, you had Clinton Massey versus Batavia. Big implications in that game, but Clinton Massey has just been such a dominant team over the past couple seasons. I think they were the 1 seed when it came to the playoffs last year. Yes, they did lose to Alter in the playoffs fairly early for the Falcons. And then not too long ago, they were state champions. So not too surprising, Clinton Massey playing as dominant as they did last night against a team that was trying to give them a run for their money when it came to a division title.
And our final couple of scores in the Cincinnati Metro Athletic Conference, Western Hills edging Woodward 26-20. Withrow shuts out Hughes 42-0. In the teams we also cover segment, Wapakoneta over Lima Bath 48-20, and Salina over Defiance 28-6. Matt, our Saturday games, CJ at Baden, a big game for the Baden Rams, trying to make that Week 10 matchup against Mcnicholas a conference championship game. Aiken will play at Taft, CCPA at Gamble Montessori, Preble Shawnee at Ansonia. Once again, the WOAC title game. Dayton Christian will play Schroeder, and possibly the entire game of the day. We talked about the implications of CJ Baden. We've talked about the implications of that Ansonia Preble Shawnee game. Later tonight, St. Edwards at Moeller. That game very well could be a preview of what we're seeing in the state championship game for Division I football in the state of Ohio. St. Ed's comes into this one 5-3, winners of 3 consecutive state championships. Moeller, I don't think we need to mention much about Moeller. The team that they have this season, the teams that they've beaten this season, 7-1 overall in the season.
And yeah, it's the number 1 and number 2 teams in Division I when it comes to the state of Ohio right now. And the only reason it's not number 1 and number 2 in the state is because we've got teams like Massillon that are above St. Ed's, who took them down earlier on in the season, which, to be fair, Massillon always seems to beat St. Ed's. That seems to be the team that, over the past couple seasons, no matter what, no matter how good St. Ed's is, St. Ed's will win every single game of the season except the Massillon game during the regular season. Yes, St. Ed's did lose to Glenville by 1. They lost to a team out of Kentucky pretty convincingly, 38-21 earlier on in the season. That was Boyle County out of Kentucky, who currently, latest update for them, they are 8-0 so far this season out of Kentucky. So that's a very, very good team out of the state of Kentucky that St. Ed's ended up losing to. But now they've got to face off against the current number 1 team in the state, Moeller. It is a home game. No, it is a road game for St. Ed's in this one. They go back and forth consistently with those two teams facing off against each other. But it's no surprise whatsoever that we see an incredible matchup between a team out of the GCL South and St. Ed's later on in the season. St. Ed's usually plays against most of, if not all of, I don't think they play LaSalle this year. I don't think they played St. X this year, but they had Elder on the schedule, and now they've got to deal with Moeller, the two, I would say, top teams in the GCL South. Nothing against St. X. They've been incredible so far this season, same for LaSalle, but when you think of especially this season, when you think of the GCL South, you're thinking of the Moeller Crusaders, the team that is on top of that conference, the team that is going to win that conference this season. They've got to face off against, St. Ed's got to face off against that team. And there's a lot of implications when it comes down to a potential state championship potential matchup that we might see later on in the season. When up in Canton, it very well could be Moeller versus St. Ed's for a state title this season with what we've seen both of these teams do. So a lot of implications. It's not a conference championship deciding game between these two teams, but there's a lot of implications for what we could see for a state title game potential when it comes to St. Ed's and Moeller today.
St. Ed's and Moeller coming up later tonight, and we're going to take a break. We're through hour number 1 of the show. We just got through all the scores. When we return, we'll take a look at the Joe Idol playoff points and take a look at the playoff picture heading in to the Saturday games of week number 9. That's all coming up next here on Sports Now.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
And now, to the TKDS studios and your host, Jackson and Matt, for the Sports Now Update Show.
Jackson Lightcap alongside Matthew Pennington as we welcome you back to the Friday Night Recap Show. Moving on to hour number 2 of this 2-hour show. We're having Mcnicholas Coaches joining us here at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time to talk about what should be a conference championship for them coming up next Friday night. Beforehand, we're going to get into the Joe Idle playoff point system. For those of you who don't know, Joe Idle, a man in the state of Ohio, a legend in the state of Ohio, has found a way to calculate the updated OHSA playoff points. He puts it out on his website. Make sure to go visit joeidle.com to follow along. These, as we have to say, these are not official from the state of Ohio, but they're the closest thing to. This is the closest thing to official as you can get without it being official. So these are unofficial scoring, and once again, we are pulling these numbers from our very good friend and the Joe Idle website. So Joe, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for being able to do this so that us media folk and fans of OHSA high school football can keep up with it. A lot of work goes into it, but he does a great job and very passionate about it as well. So once again, we're getting this from the Joe Idle website. Make sure to visit joeidle.com, and these are unofficial, but as close to official as you certainly can. As I said earlier in the show, I'm under the weather. I'm not feeling good. Matt, you're going to run through the Joe Idle. Take it away.
You guys get to deal with me for the Joe Idle playoff points.
Take it away, Matt. I'll give some feedback.
Like Jackson said, these are unofficial, but there is a link to Joe Idle's website on OHSAA's website, so it's pretty much official when it comes down to these playoff points and everything. So the current teams in Region 28 that are eliminated from the playoffs, you have Bradford at 23, Fayetteville, and Troy Christian. All of those teams are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Now going to run through all the teams that are currently on the outside looking in. Remember, it's 1 through 16 that get a playoff bid come playoff time. In 22nd, we have Catholic Central, and then Mississinawa Valley, Fort Recovery, Tri-County North, New Miami, and Cedarville are all of the teams that are on the outside looking in. Cedarville, the only team on the outside currently that controls their own destiny. That's because they've got Greenview, an undefeated team, 9-0 in week number 10 of the season. And now, 16 through 9, all of these teams would be road teams come playoff time if the playoffs were to start now. Lockland, they control their own destiny at the 16 seed. Southeastern Local, Twin Valley South, and Manchester. Manchester controls their own destiny at the 13 seed. All of those teams have not yet been confirmed or have clinched a playoff spot. Every team from here on out has clinched a playoff spot. Fort Loramie, Riverside, St. Henry, Tri-Village, all 4 of those road teams have clinched a playoff spot. They're still fighting for a potential home playoff berth when it comes down to the OHSA playoffs. Now, 1 through 8, you've got Marion Local, the 1 seed. No surprise there. Minster, 2 seed. Cincinnati College Prep, the 3 seed. Lehman Catholic, the 4 seed. Ansonia, the 5 seed. All 5 of those teams have clinched a home playoff game. Ridgemont, Waynesfield, Goshen, and New Bremen. Those are the other home teams if the playoffs were to start today. But Those 3 teams have not clinched a home playoff berth yet.
And Matt, one thing that I want to talk about here, kind of giving some feedback like I said I would. How about this? Cedarville is a 17 seed, currently on the outside looking in, but they control their own destiny. You win next week against Greenview. I think it's safe to say Greenview undefeated. You win, I think you're in the playoffs. Even if you lose close and some things go your way, you might be able to get in. But the easiest way for Cedarville, the easiest path, this is why they control their own destiny. A win and you're in. Laughlin controlling their own destiny as a 16 seed. The teams that are currently on the playoff picture that are inside that are going to have to need some help are the 14 and 15 seeds, Twin Valley South, Southeastern Local. Matt, how about this? Tri-Village, 7-2 overall, number 9 seed. They're if the season were to end, they would be on the road for a playoff game. 8 seed New Bremen, a home playoff team, 4-5. So 3 more games won by Tri-Village. Goes to show you how tough the MAC conference truly is.
Yeah, now moving on to Region 24, Dixie and East Clinton, both mathematically eliminated. Southeastern and Summit Country Day, they sit at 22 and 23. Both of those teams are not mathematically eliminated, but Huntington in the 21 spot, they are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Then you have Adena, Valley, Blanchester, National Trail. Those are the remaining teams that are on the outside looking in. Now the teams that would be road teams for the playoffs if they were to start today. Perry, Purcell Marion, Covington, Deer Park, Chesapeake, Miami Valley Christian Academy, Madison Plains, and Dayton Christian. All of those teams would be road playoff teams if the playoffs were to start today. Northeastern, they are the only home team that has not, or current home team if the playoffs were to start today, that has not clinched a playoff spot. All of these teams that I'm going to mention now, all of these teams have clinched a playoff berth. You've got Rock Hill and Paint Valley. Those 2 teams have clinched a playoff spot. All of these teams that I'm going to mention now have clinched a home playoff game for the OHSAA state playoffs. St. Bernard Elmwood plays the 5 seed. They have clinched a home playoff game. Portsmouth West, they've clinched a home playoff game. Cincinnati Country Day in that 3 spot, they've clinched a home playoff game. Anna and Coldwater, they have also both clinched a playoff spot. Coldwater has clinched the number 1 seed for Region 24. Now moving on to Region 16. Got to go quickly through here. Norwood and Greenon both mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Finneytown is not yet mathematically eliminated. Marymount is in that 21 spot. Claremont Northeastern, North College Hill take those 19 and 20 seeds. Clark Montessori is mathematically eliminated from the playoffs in that 18 spot. North Union, the last team on the outside looking in. All of these teams that I'm going to mention now, road teams if the playoffs were to start today. Graham Local, Madison, Middletown Madison, Arcanum, Madera, all of those teams, road games that have yet to clinch a playoff spot. Every team from here on out has clinched a playoff berth. Milton Union, Pleasant, Versailles, Lima Bath, those would be the remainder of the road teams. All of these teams would be home teams for the playoffs. Miami East, Carlisle, Williamsburg, Indian Lake, Preble Shawnee, all of those teams have clinched a playoff spot. These 3 teams have clinched a home playoff game for round 1 of the playoffs. West Liberty Salem clinched a top 4 spot. Waynesville clinched a home playoff spot. Greenview, they've clinched a top 4 seed, not guaranteed to be the number 1 seed, but they've clinched a top 4 seed in the playoffs.
One of the common themes we've seen through Region 20 and Region 24, Division 5 and Division 6, Matt, is the gap between seed 16 and 17. A large gap in Region 24 and Region 20 between the 16 and 17 seed. So these teams in the last 2 regions we talked about that are on the inside looking in, it's looking well for them. Although they haven't clinched yet, it's looking well for them. And a big win in week number 10. Basically, we're just going to see a lot of seeding adjustments moving from this week into next week. Again, assuming they win, all these teams, a massive gap, controlling their destiny.
Yeah, moving on now to Region 16, the last region we're going to cover before we do take a break. A lot more already been determined in this region. Thurgood Marshall, Gamble Montessori, Springfield Shawnee, McLean, Bethel, Oakwood, Bethel Tate, Northwestern, and Reading. All of those teams are mathematically eliminated. The teams that are sprinkled in there that still have a chance at the playoffs is you have Bishop Fenwick at the 19 seed. They still do have a chance of making the playoffs. And then you have Washington from Washington Courthouse and the 21 seed. They still also are not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. The remaining teams, the teams that are inside the playoffs, there's 3 teams that have not yet clinched a playoff spot that are on the inside right now of these top 16 teams. You have Roger Bacon at 16, Schroeder at 15, Brookville at 14. All 3 of those teams have not clinched a playoff spot. Schroeder and Brookville, they control their own destiny. Roger Bacon, the only team inside of the playoffs that does not control their own destiny because of Bishop Fenwick's game that they've got in Week 10 of the regular season. But Brookville, Schroeder, Roger Bacon, they have all not clinched a playoff spot. Those are the last 3 teams that have not clinched a playoff spot, 14, 15, 16. Now moving on to all the teams that have clinched a playoff berth. Alter, the 13 seed, Northridge, the 12 seed, Kenton Ridge, the 11 seed, New Richmond, the 10 seed, and Taylor, the 9 seed. Now we move on to all of the home teams. If the playoffs were to start today, only 3 teams have clinched a home playoff game for the first round of the playoffs. Taft, Urbana, Eaton, Indian Hill, and CHCA, the teams that currently are projected to be home teams but have not yet clinched a home playoff berth. Valley View, Clinton Massey, and Wyoming are the teams that have clinched a top 8 seed and will have a first-round home playoff game. Clinton Massey and Wyoming already clinched top 4 seeds, so they will get a Week 1 and Week 2 of the playoff home game.
Matt, one thing that I'm shocked to see is I'm shocked to see Brookville this low on the list as the 14 seed. Brookville, a 5-4 team. Their losses, Valley View in double overtime when they ended up losing that one 27-21 last night. Eaton, a 7-2 team, lost that one 45-21. They lost to Anna, a tough team from the MAC, back in Week 2, and they lost to Waynesville in a game that was close, and then Waynesville pulled away. A lot of blowout losses. If I had to guess, that's why they sit down at the 14 seed. But the level of competition, it hasn't been the toughest of schedules, but it also hasn't been the easiest. You have Carlisle in there with a winning record as well. You beat them by 20 points. You're beating teams how you should. This game against Franklin coming up next week. Brookville, they do control their own destiny, but it is, to me, it's a little shocking to see them all the way down at 14 because that's one of the teams that we talked about as one of the top teams all season long in the Southwestern Buckeye League, and I think that just goes to show you that although you could be hyped up to be one of the best teams in your conference, if you can't win the big games, you're going to fall in the playoff standings. We also see it with Northwestern, who's been mathematically eliminated in this very region, Region 16. Alter, the same situation, all the way down at 13. They were lucky to get a massive boost after their win last night. And then Roger Bacon, of course, as well. So if you left it up to me, I think Region 16 in Division 4 is certainly probably the most interesting region that we're talking about, with a lot of movement and still a lot to go and a lot of surprising factors in Region 16 as well. Let's take a break. Divisions 1 through 3 coming up next when we return to the Friday Night Recap Show.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
And now, to the TKDS studios and your host, Jackson and Matt, for the Sports Now Update Show.
Still 4 more regions to talk about. We're talking about the Joe Idle playoff points and the playoff picture for Southwest Ohio. Matt, 4 more regions, about 10 minutes to do so before the Mcnicholas head coach and Coach Mike Orlando will join us at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Matt, I'll throw it back to you for the final 4 divisions.
I say, so I got to be quick.
Final 4 regions, final 3 divisions.
So I got to be quick through all of these. Teams that are mathematically eliminated in Region 12 as of right now: Woodward, Tecumseh, Greenville, Ponitz, Dunbar, and Hillsborough, all mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Goshen, the 22 seed, they still have a chance. Chillicothe, the 20 seed, they have a chance. Hughes, Talawanda, and Western Brown, those are all of the teams that are currently on the outside looking in after Week 9 of the regular season. The teams that are on the inside of the playoff window that would be road teams. There is one road team that has clinched a playoff seed. Miami Trace, the 9 seed, they have clinched. All of these teams that I'm going to mention now, 16 through 10, they either control their own destiny or are inside currently of the playoff window, but things can still change. Meadowdale, the 16 seed. Carroll, the 15 seed. Franklin, the 14 seed. Ross, the 13 seed. Wilmington, the 12 seed. CJ, the 11 seed. Salina, the 10 seed. Like I said, Miami Trace, they are the 9 seed, but they have clinched a playoff spot. Now, all of these teams that I'm going to mention now would be home teams if the playoffs were to start now. You've got St. Mary's Memorial, they are the 8 seed. Bellefontaine, they are the 7 seed. Batavia, the 6 seed. London, they are the 5 seed. And all of these teams that I'm going to mention now have clinched a home playoff game for the first round. Mcnicholas, Wapakoneta, and Bellbrook, those take your 4, 3, and 2 spots. Tippecanoe, they are the 1 seed. They have clinched the 1 seed for the playoffs. So they will have home games for every single home game until we hit the neutral site games for Region 12.
Matt, one thing I want to talk about here in this, of course, we were talking at the break, a little bit surprised that Dunbar is eliminated already. I mean, 2-7 overall. But at the end of the day, this is a team that has been able to make the playoffs over the last couple of years. And it just goes to show you in the DPS, you're not playing the toughest of competition. So it's usually whoever wins that conference is the one who gets the bid into the postseason. But we were talking about Dunbar, a chance to become co-DPS champions later on in the season, depending on how Week 10 plays out between that game between Belmont and Meadowdale. So that keep an eye on that. Meadowdale in as the 16th seed. Matt, they win. You can make a case for them to be in, especially with Belmont being a Division II school, but a loss for Meadowdale could not only cost them a conference outright title, but it could cost them a division or a playoff spot as well.
Yeah, now moving on to Region 8, Division 2. This has that Belmont team in it that you were talking about that could end up boosting Meadowdale to a playoff spot. There's only one team mathematically eliminated of the 25 teams in this region. That is West Carrollton down in the 25th spot. Now all the teams that are on the outside looking in. Fairborn, they're on the outside looking in. Northwest, Turpin, Belmont, the Bison, they are on the outside looking in. Miamisburg, they're on the outside looking in. Piqua, Loveland, Stebbins, those are all the teams that are on the outside looking in. 11 through 16, none of these teams have clinched a playoff spot. Some of them control their own destiny. Some of them do not. Edgewood, the 16 seed. Monroe, the 15 seed. A current tie between Sydney and Troy for that 13 seed. Trotwood, they take the 12 seed, and Aiken, the 11 seed. Every team that I'm going to mention from here on out has clinched a playoff spot up until this point. Withrow, the 10 seed, Lima Senior, the 9 seed. Both of those two teams would be road teams come playoff time, but they have both clinched a playoff spot. Butler, Baden has yet to play their Week 9 game, so they could potentially move up a few spots, especially with the fact that they have a tough opponent this week as well today in their Week 9 game. But Butler, Baden, Mount Healthy, and Kings, all of those teams, Kings has clinched a home playoff game for the first round. Harrison, LaSalle, Xenia have also both clinched. All four of those teams have clinched a home playoff game. And Anderson, the number 1 seed, has clinched the number 1 seed outright. And their point total compared to second place, Xenia, it's not even close for the points between those two teams.
And just goes to show you, Matt, two undefeated teams, 9-0, Xenia and Anderson. Difference in the level of schedule that they're playing at.
Yeah, and the dominance that Anderson has shown so far this season. Now moving on to Division 1, we're looking at Region 4. 18 teams make up this region. No team is mathematically eliminated at this point. Right now, the two teams that are on the outside looking in, Western Hills and Coleraine, those are the two teams in Region 4 that are on the outside looking in. 3 teams on the inside of the playoff picture that control their own destiny. Sycamore, the 16 seed. Walnut Hills, the 15 seed. Little Miami, the 14 seed. All 3 of those teams do control their own destiny when it comes to the playoffs. The only team that's on the inside of the playoff picture now that does not control their own destiny is 13-seeded Fairfield. They could still find themselves outside of the playoffs depending on what Western Hills and Coleraine do in Week 10 of the regular season. Seed 12 through 9, all of these teams have clinched a playoff spot, but they would be road teams in the playoffs. You have Oak Hills, the 12 seed, Milford, the 11 seed, Mason, the 10 seed, Lakota East, the 9 seed. All of these teams I'm going to mention now have clinched a playoff spot, would be home teams, but they're not guaranteed to be home teams in the first round of the playoffs. You have St. Xavier, they've clinched a playoff spot. Elder, they've clinched a playoff spot in West Claremont. That is St. Xavier 6, Elder 7, West Claremont 8. All of those teams could be home teams come playoff time, but there is room for movement when it comes to Lakota East, Mason, Milford, and those teams below them. All of the teams that have clinched a home playoff spot for the first round of the playoffs, you have Hamilton, Winton Woods, Princeton, Lakota West, and the team that has clinched at least a home playoff game in a top 4 seed for the for the 2 first weeks of the playoffs. They have St. Ed's. It's Moeller, the top team right now in Region 4. There's a chance that I think, and I do believe, if they beat St. Ed's today, they would arguably clinch that number 1 seed outright. It's possible Princeton Lakota West could potentially take that spot away, but if Moeller handles St. Ed's today, they should clinch that number 1 seed for Region 4. Now moving on to Region 2, the last region we've got to talk about today, Jackson, when it comes to the Joe Idle playoff points. There is only one team that will not make the playoffs in Region 2 as of right now. That sits as Hilliard Darby as the only team that would not make the playoffs right now when it comes to Region 2. There's 2 teams that have not clinched a playoff spot, but they do control their own destiny. The 15-seed Central Crossing, they have not clinched a playoff spot yet, but they control their own destiny. And Dublin Kaufman, a down year for the Shamrocks. They are 1-8 on the season. They are the 16 seed. They do control their own destiny, though, when it comes to the playoffs. Now the teams that have clinched a playoff spot would be road teams for the first round of the playoffs. You have Marysville and Hilliard Bradley. Both of those teams are tied for that 13 seed. Then you have Beaver Creek, Northmont, Dublin, Jerome, and Middletown. Those would all be your road teams come playoff time for Region 2. And now all of the teams that would be home teams now but have not clinched a home playoff spot, Wayne and Springboro, those are the 2 teams that would be home teams now if the playoffs were to start, but they have not clinched a home playoff game. All of the teams I'm going to mention from here on out have clinched a home playoff berth for the first round of the playoffs. You have Lebanon, the 6 seed. You have Hilliard-Davidson, the 5 seed. Springfield, the 4 seed. Centerville, they have the 3 seed. And then these 2 teams have clinched a home playoff game through the first 2 rounds of the OHSAA playoffs. You have Westland. And how about Fairmont at that number 1 spot in Region 2? It's been a while since Fairmont has been not been a while, but they are a team that might host a playoff game. They've got a chance of being the number 1 seed in Region 2 this year.
Fairmont just hosted their first playoff game a couple of years ago against Wayne at Roush Stadium. It was the first playoff game in school history for the Fairmont Firebirds just 2 years ago. 2 years later, they have a chance to clinch the number 1 seed. Although they play Beaver Creek next week, their max average, if they win, 26.1. Galloway Westland, they play Big Walnut, an 8-1 school. Their max average, if they win, 29.25. Centerville plays Wayne. Their max average, if they win, 26.01. So that race still very tight. If you're a Fairmont fan, you're a Big Walnut fan, and a Wayne Warrior fan, Fairmont has a chance to clinch the GWAC championship title outright and the number 1 seed for the OHSAA playoffs in Region number 2 next week. Could be a big week for the Fairmont Firebirds. And Matt, it's great to see because, like you said, it's been a long time since we've seen the Firebirds this high up in the playoffs. Frankly, across my life, no shade to Fairmont, I don't think I've ever seen them this high. So congratulations to the Firebirds. David Miller doing great things there as well. Time for a break. When we return, Mcnicholas' head coach will join us as it's Mike Orlando. That's all coming up next here on the TKDS Sports Network.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
And now, to the TKDS studios and your host, Jackson and Matt, for the Sports Now Update Show.
Jackson Lightcap alongside Matthew Pennington as we welcome you back to the Sports Now Friday Night Recap Show powered by TKDS Sports. Joining us is Coach Mike Orlando, the head coach for the Mcnicholas Rockets. Coach Orlando, thanks for taking time out of your busy Saturday morning to join us on our show. Hopefully you hear us just fine.
We got you loud and clear. Thanks for having me.
Coach, an incredible season so far for Mcnicholas, 4-0 in league play, 8-1 overall. Your lone loss on the season coming way back in week 1 to a very good Steubenville team where you lost that one by a single 2 points. Since then, on an 8-game winning streak, Coach, the Mcnicholas Rockets have played a very, very tough schedule this season. What goes into playing a tough schedule, and how has it helped prepare you for your upcoming matchup next week against Baden, which should be for a GCL co-ed title?
Yeah, so for years, obviously, the amount of teams that the state took was 8 teams, and moved to the 16-team format not too long ago, and we thought, hey, yes, our league is a grinder. And before it was like, you had a race to get to 7 wins. Like we thought if we got to 7 wins, you had a really good chance of getting in. But now with them taking 16, I think you have a little bit more margin of error and to go play some teams, some high caliber teams, such as Steubenville, and, get that experience and get that, get our kids ready for what we'll inevitably see in the postseason and, I guess before that in GCL play. So, it's definitely something that we think about and talk about, and we want to put our kids in the best possible position to be successful, and and sometimes that means going and playing some really good teams. So we look forward to those games. Kids don't like to play. At least our kids don't like to play the games where they're it's a blowout every week, and you might go 10-0 every year, but you're not really playing anybody. So. Sometimes our record is a little bit of a misnomer. If a GCL team is 5-5 or 6-4, it's probably because they play some really good teams.
And Coach, last season, 6-6, finished 500, but it seemed like your team really found their footing later on in the season, winning the majority of your second half games in the season last year. You return a lot. You return your quarterback, you return your running back, you return a couple of players on that defensive side. Now they're more experienced. They've obtained that varsity level of experience a year ago, and it's really translated to you guys on the football field this season. Again, winners of 8 straight, 8-1 on the year. How has that leadership and how has that previous experience and the return returners coming back to Mcnicholas and your program really boosted the Rockets throughout the season.
Yeah, it's been huge. We have a lot of guys that played a lot of snaps. Our starting quarterback, Brady Bobo's been a starter for 3 years. He got kind of inserted in the lineup in the very first game of his sophomore year when our starting quarterback went down with injury, and he hasn't left since. You had a couple guys on the defensive side of the ball, Blaze Volker and Jack Mayer, 2 linebackers for us that have played a lot of snaps. They were in there as sophomores, and to be quite honest, they were in there too soon. It's just we didn't have the depth that we have now, and those trials that they experienced early on in their career are definitely helping them now. We're a seasoned bunch. We have a tremendous amount of leadership and some guys that played a lot of snaps, like I said. So it's definitely helping us as we move through the GCL for sure.
Coach, before the season, every team talks about expectations and goals for the upcoming season. Can you kind of describe what some of your expectations and goals for this group of kids that you have this season was, and have you exceeded them so far? Have you yet to meet them? Can you just kind of talk about where you stand on your preseason and even goals that you've set throughout the regular season as well?
Sure. We're a process-based bunch, like probably a lot of people are. We don't necessarily, it's coach speak and cliche and all that, but we typically, we're looking at where we are now, where we are in the moment. So we kind of divide things into, okay, we have our, off season, obviously, and then we come in, we have our camp days, we have our scrimmages, and even like in our schedule wise, most of the time you can kind of divide it up into kind of segments there, and you have your non-league stuff, and then you might have a stretch in the league where it's like, okay, these two are tough, kind of like it was this year with going CJ and Alter back to back, and then we are a bunch that just try to go to the next play, and we've done the other thing. We've done, okay, we're going to be GCL champs, and we want to be regional champs and all that, and and quite honestly, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work for us. Sure. Do we want to win the GCL? Absolutely. Do we want to be regional champs? Absolutely. Do we want to be a state champion? Absolutely. But our process is if you take care of the day to day, that stuff will be will be residuals from what you do. So we try to stay in the moment. We get it that we got 15, 16, 17-year-old kids that it's hard sometimes to do that, but we've done a really good job with again the leadership that we've had. We've been here and done that. We've been through these things. We're happy that we're in the spot that we're in, where we've earned this, we think, to go into this final week and have a chance to win the GCL. So we're really looking forward to it.
Coach, it's been quite some time since Mcnicholas has been able to win the GCL back in 2017, back when there were 2 divisions for the GCL co-ed. This season, you put yourself in the driver's seat. You have a chance to clinch at least a share with the GCL co-ed title tonight, depending on that CJ and Baden game. But if Baden wins, that would make that Week 10 matchup against Baden for the GCL outright conference championship. Can you kind of talk about what's it feel like knowing that you have a chance to play for a conference championship next Friday night against a very good Baden team? Can you kind of talk to us about, is there going to, for your staff and for your personnel and players and for the community in general, is there going to be an extra pep in their step? What can we expect for next Friday's game, knowing that you can clinch an outright championship next Friday night?
Yeah, it's definitely important to us. It's something that, like I said, we work for, and we feel like we've earned this in terms of putting ourselves in this position. But I hope that we go about our business like we have been for the last 9 weeks or so in this regular season. We're not going to change anything. We are who we are. Baden's who they are. It's not like you get to Week 10 and kind of flip something around or flip a switch. That just doesn't work for us. So we'll go about our business. But we're going to be mindful of it too. Like, hey, yeah, we understand what's in front of us. We had an opportunity last year. If we beat Baden in the last game, we would have had a share of the GCL. We lost 38-35. Going back to 2000, well, I guess it was 2021. 2021. We both went in there undefeated. It was a really, really good Baden team. They beat us for the GCL title. And in 2020, We lost to them 10-7. So we've been in this spot before in recent years of trying to claim a GCL title. Having coming off winning 6 straight, from 2012 through 2017. So we would love to get back. We'd love to win it outright. And, that's definitely something that we would enjoy and appreciate. And then we would like every other week. We're going to enjoy this win that we had against Carroll today, and then tomorrow we'll flip the page to Baden and move forward.
And Coach, one last question for you. Can you kind of talk to us? So in the GCL co-ed, the community, it's a little bit different than some of the other conferences we talk about where the community's one tight bunch. The GCL co-ed, you have different aspects of the community. You may have a family from a different city and another city spread across the map that all combine into the community and the makeup of McNicholas High School. Can you talk to us about what it's like to have that community and having personnel from other communities to all come together to form what we have with McNicholas High School?
Yeah, it's it is, I would say, definitely different from I would say some of the leagues that you guys cover for sure, just from proximity, as you mentioned. But there is definitely still a sense of pride there. We think it's one of the greatest leagues in the state, if not in the country, in terms of medium-sized football. Right? I think we play a really good brand of football. There's a lot of good players in our league, guys that go play on Saturdays and Sundays. So. As far as the community is concerned, McNick is the medium-sized co-ed Catholic school here in Cincinnati that, we do draw kids from a good stretch of land around Cincinnati. But, there is definitely that tight-knit family, aspect to it for sure. You get that with a smaller co-ed that way. And, we have a lot of pride, right, in that we work really hard. We understand that we might not always be, we don't got a bunch of blue chippers. Like we're not going to have a bunch of guys going to, 4 or 5 star guys every year. It just doesn't happen. So what do we have to do? We have to work at it, right? We are really detailed and process oriented. And, I think it shows. It feels a little bit better that way sometimes, right? That these guys have really, really worked for it. And, the fans come out. We have a great atmosphere here at school at our home games. The tailgates are great. The student section's awesome. We're looking forward to that last home regular season game next week and hopefully come away with the GCL title.
Well, Coach, congratulations on all the success this season and the future success as well. We wish you the best of luck. And once again, thank you for taking time out of your busy Saturday morning to join us here on this show. We'd love to talk to you in the future. And once again, best of luck to McNicholas down the stretch.
Jackson and Matthew, thank you so much, and thank you for promoting high school football and everything else that you do. I think high school football is the great sport going, so really appreciate you guys doing this. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach. Once again, that is Coach Mike Orlando from McNicholas and the Rockets. We're going to take a break. Game picks for Week 10. It's coming up next.
Golf isn't just a game. It's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
Golf isn't just a game, it's a journey. A journey where every swing, every step, and every challenge is met with determination and grace. As women, we stand on the greens with strength and confidence, breaking barriers and redefining what it means to compete. Together, we inspire, we lead, and we prove that the future of golf is as limitless as the horizon. This is our time, our course, and our story. Welcome to TKDS Sports Women's Golf, where we play to win and win with purpose.
Want to sell your products or list your real estate to millions of viewers? It's simple. Just visit www.tkdsshop.live and showcase your items to the world. From handcrafted treasures to must-have gadgets and even real estate listings, TKDS Shop TV is your gateway to success. Reach millions from the comfort of your home. Don't wait. Post your products today and watch them come to life on TV. TKDS Shop TV, where your success is our mission. Visit www.tkdsshop.live and start selling.
Live from TKDS Sports Studio. And now, to the TKDS studios and your host, Jackson and Matt, for the Sports Now Update Show.
Jackson Lightcap alongside Matthew Pennington as we welcome you back to the TKDS Sports Network and Sports Now, as it is time for our Week 10 game picks. Recapping last week, of course, the Ansonia Preble Shawnee game has yet to be played, but as of right now, Matt, myself, and Jonathan Snyder, the three hosts of this show, 5-0, looking for that perfect 6-0 week. Tim Capel and David Marshall, 4-1. Kevin Fowler and Ivan, I think they just give it up on game picks. They have not submitted their picks. They went 0-6. Back-to-back 0-6 weeks for both Ivan and Kevin. Your overall standings, Matt is in first with a 43-10 overall record. I'm in second with a 41-12 overall record. Tim Capel and Jonathan Snyder tied for third with 37-16. David Marshall in fifth with a 36-17 record. Ivan in sixth, 29-25. Kevin in last, 26-28. Both Ivan and Kevin on watch for having the first ever losing record when it comes to game picks for football season. By the way, this is the 4th year we've been doing it as well, and it certainly has grown over the last 4 years or so. But hey, Matt, you're 43-10. I'm 41-12. You and I, this is our 4th year doing it. We have been 1-2 for the last 3 years.
I'm waiting for my massive slip up.
We've been 1-2 for the last. You've been 1. I've been 2 for the last 3 years, and it's looking like it'll be this way for the 4th year. Obviously, when it comes to our picks, we've done a really good job. I'll go out and say, for the record, I think this is the best year you and I have both had.
This is by far my best year because I think over the past couple years, my average, I would say, when it comes to overall record is about 70 to 75% of games right. I'm genuinely waiting for that week I go 1-5.
And now since I said that, it's going to happen this week.
We're both gonna be 2-4 after this week. I'm genuinely usually I feel pretty confident with my picks. I feel like I'm going to get a majority of the games because it's been proven over the past couple seasons. Like I said, I've had that roughly 70 to 80%, 70 or so percent correct picks. I don't know what's going on with me this year, man. I'm on a different level this year. Both of us are going insane when it comes to our game picks so far this season. But I'm waiting for that 1-5, that 2-4. It's gonna happen at some point. I'm just waiting for that moment to happen for me because it's going to happen. I don't know when, but it's going to happen at some point. I know it's going to happen.
Matt, let's get into it. We just got done talking about with the Mcnicholas Rockets head coach Mike Orlando. They're one of our game picks. Baden at Mcnicholas.
Give me the Rockets, man. Baden has been the top team inside of the GCL co-ed over the past couple seasons. They still have a game yet to play today, but Mcnicholas has looked incredibly strong so far this season. My mind could change with what we see Baden do Baden do today. If they play close against CJ, then maybe, or if they play close against CJ, that further builds my confidence in picking the Rockets in this game. But if Baden absolutely destroys CJ today, I might start leaning a little bit more towards the Rams. I still am probably going to go with the Rockets because of how good they've looked so far this season.
These picks that we're making, we do have Friday to change them, and that's when everybody else in the TKDS Sports Network will get their picks in by Friday as well. Matt,
they're finalized by kickoff.
Matt, I'll agree with you. Give me Mcnicholas. I really like what Mcnicholas has done. Yes, Baden's been the top dog in the GCL co-ed for the last couple of years, but you look at the games that Baden has played. Or I beg your pardon, that Mcnicholas has played. I think they've played a tougher schedule. I think that they've played better. They have a better offense. They have a better defense. Not knocking Baden by any means because this is still a really good team that can make a deep postseason run. But I like Mcnicholas in this one. They played well against Baden when it was a 500 year last year. This year, they returned a lot more. They're going to remember that loss. Give me Mcnicholas, the Rockets to win that one. Up next, Waynesville at Valley View. Matt, give me the Spartans.
I was hoping I would get that so I could do that, man. You took that away from me. I was going to say, give me the Spartans. I'm guaranteed to win.
I'm choosing the Waynesville Spartans. Matt, we've seen them firsthand. That offense is explosive. Valley View's defense is going to have their hands full. I like Waynesville in this one. Give me the Spartans of Waynesville.
I'm going to go with Waynesville as well. They have 2 losses on the season, but you take a look at those 2 losses. They are against undefeated Greenview, who I think is around their division. No, I think they are the same region and division as them. And then it's against Clinton Massey, who is an incredibly good team this year. So I'm going to go with the Spartans, but it's going to be the Waynesville Spartans.
Up next, how about this? Coldwater and Marion Local. Matt, you just want to say it on 3?
I know. It's funny how you...
1, 2, 3, Marion
Flyers.
Local.
Give me Marion Local. It's funny
how
I
can't go
did...
against Marion Local until they give me a reason to. Coldwater, is this a game that they can win? Absolutely. Coldwater is a really good football team, but at the end of the day, I just cannot pick anyone other than Marion Local until they give me reason not to pick Marion Local. The longest active winning streak in all of the entire nation. Give me the Flyers and Marion Local.
And yeah, that's the thing when it comes to Coldwater. They have clinched the number 1 seed for Region 24 in Division 6. They've clinched the number 1 seed. And it's funny how Marion Local should easily win this game by at least 2 touchdowns, maybe even more than 2 touchdowns. And it's funny how you put my initial down for Marion Local before I even said my game pick for that. That's how well you know me and knew that I was going to pick Marion Local in this one.
Up next, we got to go through the 3 more games and 3 minutes left in the show. West Liberty Salem at Fairbanks.
I'm going to go with West Liberty Salem in this one. You're making me pick 3 games. You're making me pick 3 games first. I'm going to make you pick Xenia and the Northridge games first for both of those. I'm going to go West Liberty Salem, though.
Give me West Liberty Salem as well. Same situation as Marion Local. I can't pick against them until Tip City at Xenia. Oh, boy. Give me Xenia. I like Xenia. I think that they've returned a lot more players. I love what Tippecanoe has to offer, but I do think that the Buccaneers are going to take this one at home.
Yeah, this is going to be, in my eyes, this is my most up in the air pick for this week because Xenia has been playing incredibly, but the Red Devils have been playing incredibly too. Give me Tip City in this one. I'm going to go with the Red Devils. Xenia has looked incredible over the entirety of this season, but so have the Red Devils. The Red Devils have looked incredible so far this season too. Xenia does have that home field advantage. They do have that advantage going for them in this one, but give me Tip City.
And Lehman Catholic at Northridge. Give me Lehman Catholic. I think they've just played a tougher schedule. It's going to be a close one. Give me Lehman Catholic and the Cavaliers.
I'm going to go with the Polar Bears in this one. They're at home. They weren't even expected to beat Milton Union last week, and they beat them, or last night, I should say, and they beat them by 19 points. Yes, the Cavaliers have played a very good schedule, but Northridge has been absolutely blowing their expectations for this season out of the water, and they've got a chance to do that even better, to do even better than that, and win a TRC title at the end of the regular season with their Week 10 game. Give me the Polar Bears in this one. They've got the home field advantage. Yes, Lehman Catholic and the Cavaliers have been a phenomenal team so far this season, and they've played incredible, but Northridge has been blowing everybody's expectations out of the water. Like I said, they were not expected to beat Milton Union last week, and they crushed them by 19. So give me the Polar Bears.
Just another reminder, today's show is a copyrighted presentation of the TKDS Sports Network and its partners. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the descriptions or accounts of this show may take place without the express written consent of the TKDS Sports Network. Alongside Matthew Pennington, our engineers, Kevin and Ivan, I'm Jackson Lightcap. Week 9 in the books. We move on to the final week of the regular season. Next week, we should have a decent idea of what the playoff picture and what the playoffs are going to look like. But until next week, 8 to 10 a.m. next Saturday,